Well, hello, fellow traveler. Come and take a dip with me in the sea of absurdity. We are going to do a portal report, New Year edition, and we're going to kind of condense it a little bit and put a very loose 72-hour time frame around it just to see sort of the themes introducing themselves over this stretch that leads us through this liminal space between the closing of 2025 and our entry into a brand new year. What will it bring? Will it be more of the same old shizer, or are we going to have something new developing here? Maybe it will be a continuation story. I'm not sure, but we're going to look at the details with some arcane BS. There's an interesting transit going on right now. We do have Mercury in Sagittarius square Saturn in Pisces today. So already we're entering 2026 in a box. This is the way that we're entering. And I think this is our opportunity to break down that box, set ourselves free from previous limitations, but there's a lot we need to be aware of in terms of how we are using our words at this time. Our words can get us into trouble. Our words can get us into binding agreements, things that we might change our mind about as we get further into the year. This can be especially in relation to intimate affairs that can get a little too clingy after the party hour has worn off and you think, oh, what did I do there? Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to sign on the dotted line for that, okay? And it may exact more of a toll than you realize. There's just really need to be mindful of the agreements you're making at this time and how you're bringing your point across, because you're going to be held to it. That's sort of the energy I'm feeling here. You're going to be held to it. There has to be a new way also to get your point across, okay? Something coming through here. Maybe somebody's not getting the point, okay? These are just all the opening details I'm picking up on. So let's see what we got coming in here. Let's see what the Arcane BS deck has to say about how things are opening up here. Bottom of the deck. Oh, yeah. You know, somebody may be having a little bit of fun getting into that, you know, wizard shizer and looking for a little magic, a little fun, pulling in a couple of unicorns into the mix. You add another one into the mix and something gets a little bit more complicated than you were expecting. I don't know. I do have these vibes here of like a couple of unicorns turning on a wizard here. They're like, oh, you thought you were going to play us, but actually we're tag teaming to bring you down. We're going to make you the fall guy, wizard. Okay. These could be like a couple playmates, a couple sensual playmates. Maybe they even used to be against each other, at odds with each other. You know, there was a little bit of a cat fight action kind of going on there. They're realizing through maybe communicating, okay, they're communicating. They're sharing information. They're realizing they both were getting played by this wizard here. And they're like, oh yeah, you thought you were the one in charge? Nah, I think we're going to tag team this. We're going to make you the fall guy, wizard. We're going to turn this one around on you. Uh-oh. The plan wasn't so secure after all. All of a sudden, I'm looking at a situation upside down. How did I end up being the one who's hanging up here? I don't understand what's going on. I really thought I could trust them. They seem so loyal, so faithful, so docile. Uh-oh, it's annihilation. Okay. Oh, the safe spaces are being annihilated. It's getting a little dicey here in the opening to the new year. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's got some interesting energy here. Something seemed like the surefire way to do it. For sure, this is going to work. I got the most clever plan hatched here, and then there's something about being beaten to the punch here. You know, they say the early bird gets the worm, but it's the squirrel that's got the worm here, okay? So something came out of left field. an unlikely character has got the upper hand. It's a plot twist to open up the new year. Somebody realizes that they don't have something so nailed down as they thought they did. Now they got to rethink the reforming of the world. It reminds me of Norse tradition, you know, the worm that circles the world. It's got that kind of vibe here. Yeah, I do think this has a lot to do with some kind of like hookup energy, some kind of intimate partner here, something that seemed like it was really fulfilling in the moment, and then it kind of leaves you wanting more. It wasn't necessarily worth the temptation to bite into that fruit. Oof. And there's sort of this thing here about somebody thought that they were going to get another hung up, but somebody pulled a fast one here. They were a lot sharper, maybe a lot trickier than they sort of estimated. And they're doing a switcheroo here. I'm not going to be the one hung up. You're the one hung up. You thought you were going to make a clown out of me? That ain't so. I'm an agent of chaos, and I'm here to transform a situation. And we got our sights set on the same thing. Ooh, there's a little rivalry here too. That's interesting. Is there a wizard trying to set up another wizard? Because they want the same thing. They have the same objective. They have their eyes on the same treasure. There's also like this energy of like playmates here too. Like a couple unicorns, you know, some side piece action. And they may have been sort of antagonistic toward each other before, but now they're getting on the same side. And these don't have to be playmates of the same sex either. They maybe could be sort of connected to each other through sort of a 6 degrees of separation. They may share lovers in common or have some connecting point there. I feel like this is two people, okay, who always felt like maybe they had a real shot at something, and they might have been antagonistic toward each other, but they're teaming up to bring one of these wizards down because they feel like they got worked. Like they're seeing the way that they got worked, and so they're going to best this wizard, teach him a lesson. They may even be goaded on by another character here, by another wizard that wants to get the upper hand. It's interesting energy. Okay, so we got dueling wizards, and we have unicorns who used to be antagonistic toward each other, teaming up with each other. They want to bring somebody to their knees, man. Okay, so it's like trying to trade places here. Flipping the script. Somebody at one point felt like their security was taken out of their hands. Their stable position was completely uprooted. Somebody played some kind of game on them, took them out of a position of strength, took them out of a position of power, and somehow got the upper hand here. And now they want to make that right. There's something here about temptation is what caused problems. Something looked like it was going to be a lot more satisfying, a lot more gratifying than it turned out to be. It ended up offering nothing in the way of sustenance. It left somebody feeling empty. And it's sort of like they're recognizing, oh, I went for that. And it really put me in a compromised position because I underestimated somebody and they were a lot more wily than I thought. And somehow they beat me to the punch. And now how am I the one that has to be on their knees? What is this? What is this? Okay. I also feel like there's simultaneously, like there's kind of like this story of uprising where people who used to be in this position, where they were caught up, where they felt like somebody turned the tables on them, they're actually bringing an end to this like false sense of fulfillment. You know, they're bringing an end to something that they know doesn't really promise what it delivers. Doesn't really promise what it delivers. It's so strange for it to come out like that. It's like something about what was delivered doesn't line up with the promises. But there might be something there too about, something clever with the speech. It's probably nothing. Wait a minute. What did you mean by that? It sounded like it was a promise, but are you really promising something here or not? Somebody's kind of stating their case. I feel like, yeah, one of these wizards here is saying, look, I didn't make you any promises. I didn't make you any promises. Why are you on the warpath when it comes to me? I mean, there's somebody here that does feel like their heart got bruised here. They're out for vengeance, you know? They're ready to call this person to the mat. But this person's kind of like saying, hey, you know, it is what it is. It was never supposed to be something deep and meaningful. It was just supposed to be a little fun. And I don't know, there's something that's like the promises don't measure up to what was delivered. But the way that came in, there's a lot of discrepancy there. Like something is extremely muddled here. I don't know if this is a little bit of the telephone game, like there's go-betweens, there's people relaying messages. And so there's been some convoluted story woven here. Oh, we got the pie night, man. Yes, the pie night, you know, just wanted some pie. Somebody's been feasting on some pie here. I mean, they look like they're doing pretty good while another person here is starving, you know, they're feeling malnourished. I think that's what the issue is. Like, I feel like one of these wizards has more pull. They have more pull. They have more sway. You know, they're able to sort of lure people into their lair, maybe with a little bit of that pillow talk. It sounds like promises. It's not. This wizard is insisting, I never promised anything. Hey, I never said that I would settle for just a piece of the pie. No, I want the whole pie. I feel like this is a wizard that has a lot of pull, and they've obviously been getting their fill because they look pretty stout there, you know? Meanwhile, this one over here is like, hey, can you throw me a bone? Quite literally, okay? Can you throw me a bone? I'm starving over here, man. I'm depleted. Also, maybe something about, ooh, that's kind of interesting. Okay, we're getting a little saucy here. We're getting a little risque. I'm seeing the knees here with this banana, you know. Maybe somebody wouldn't, you know, take it all the way with another. They just really enjoyed the oral aspect of a connection. Somebody's like, why won't you, like, you know, take it all the way with me? They've been avoiding that. They've been avoiding that. This person just likes to get all the gratification. I think somebody's burned about that too. Like they feel like they got used. It's because their heart's bruised. Interesting energy, but we do have somebody here who is not putting up with that anymore. Maybe they're not going to give that satisfaction anymore. They're done paying lip service to the pie night here because they know this pie night has their fingers and many other things and a lot of other pies. That's what I see. They got a lot of pull here. I'm also sensing, though, that there's another wizard that, you know, is a little envious of that, a little envious of the pull that this pie night has. Maybe even a friend of theirs. These two might always be in competition with each other. They're very opposite. They're very opposite from each other. It's interesting, like one is really tall and lean, the other is sort of short and stout, you know? I don't know what this is, man. There's some argument going on here, though, and it's because there's almost like this, why does it feel like frenemy energy? Like even where there's friends here, they're facing off with each other. And it comes down to somebody really feels like they got mistreated in a situation. So they're ready to settle a score. They're ready to settle a score. I feel like whoever this is I think it's the tall, lean one out of these two wizards is teaming up with this person who used to give this Pie Knight, this stout wizard, a little oral gratification, okay? And they're coming toward them and they're saying, hey, let's team up together and let's cast our own illusion and get this Pie Knight caught up in their trap. We're going to do the old switcheroo on them. And they're going to be the ones that are in a state of suspended animation. And we're going to get our gratification through, you know, turning the tables on this Pie Knight here. So it's almost like, I don't know, it has almost like wingman energy too between these two wizards here. So a wingman is sort of breaking from the pact, and the pact, like their agreement that these two wizards share with each other, just as buddies, man, as friends. Maybe they have their eyes on the same prize and they feel like, no. You know, you're not going to be the one that gets the pie this time. And so they're going toward one of these like jilted lovers to try to team up with them to overpower the Pie Knight, this wizard, and put them in the hangman position. It's kind of funny. It's funny. Oh, we got a little drama-rama brewing here to open the year. It's like wanting to make the mighty take a fall and those who felt weakened want to rise, all right? Through subterfuge and trickery here, a little sleight of hand. They might be working through illusion here. There might be some kind of illusion they're casting here to maybe get in this Pie Knight's head. Try to make them feel a little insecure about their situation. There's something here about this Pie Knight being kind of greedy, you know? It's like they have more than their fill, but they want it all. And maybe even stole this friend's lover at one point, or went after somebody that they had their sights set on just to kind of flex. Like, I'm the one who is the Pie Knight. I'm the master of the pie. Yeah, I think it worked against them though. Okay. More details about this. What's going on here? We got a little telenovela brewing. It's coming to a crescendo here. Yeah, and I mean, I think that somebody's kind of getting reminded about what they said, what they promised, you know, what happened in the heat of the moment while you're basking in the afterglow of a hookup, and they're realizing they're so effing effed, okay? So effing effed. Now, do be mindful here. I mean, this to me looks like a chick, man. So there can be a chick here too that's been kind of working this scenario as well. And there's something maybe they're seeing here. Some kind of information they're coming across. Some kind of news they're coming across. Something they're discovering here. Maybe they're realizing that where they teamed up with another to try to take someone down, take down this wizard, this Pie Knight, maybe they're realizing they don't have the upper hand they thought they had. I think somebody's realizing there's some receipts here. There's something here that puts someone in a compromising position. Oh my gosh, yes, and they are definitely effed, whatever this is. Whoo! Somebody here doesn't know whether they're coming or going. Whatever, you know, arrows they were shooting in another person's direction, no matter what they threw at this person, it didn't land. They're still holding the pie. That's what I see. It didn't land. No matter what they did. Wait a minute. Pull out that grimoire. We did everything we were supposed to do. It's supposed to land. This was supposed to get them caught up. How is it they still have their hands on the pie, and why am I in the belly of the beast here? This doesn't make sense. What went awry? Oh, they threw everything at this wizard, everything but the kitchen sink, man. Everything but the kitchen sink. They used their words. They used all outright subterfuge. They used betrayal. They turned people against this person, people that were part of their inner circle. They wanted to make them feel a lack of confidence. They wanted to make them feel insecure. Yeah, they might have even tampered with their food there with the fork. But there's something here. I think, he's not the pie knight for no reason, obviously. 2033 on the clock, judgment there, okay? He does know how to use his words. He knows how to get himself out of a tricky spot, for sure. And, there's a reason why he's the pie knight. So he does got some pull. I see that. And I think he recognized this, and he used his words, and he used his own wiles to sort of make them think maybe they were getting the upper hand. This is a situation where there's people that are interconnected with each other, and they're totally like in that space where it's like, hi, yeah, good to see you. And meanwhile, they're like plotting that person's takedown. This is people turning against each other. They're trying to cut off a new beginning. They know this pie knight is heading in a certain direction. They want to cut this off at the pass. And see, it's interesting to me here because we sort of have like the banner here is these two pies, right? These two pie slices, you could say slices of the pie that this pie knight is passing by because he wants the whole pie. There's something where he's now sort of not focused. Those are like the triumphs of the past. You know what I mean? Maybe these are the receipts. They want to try to hold this against the pie knight. They think that's going to screw him. He has Mercury on his side. Look at that. I mean, he does have a way with words. He does have a way with words. I don't think that the pie knight is the one that's F tier. To me, it looks like there's a feminine here. Maybe one of these unicorns that's in a difficult position. And now this is kind of interesting too, because I almost wonder if this was a ruse. If their wingman that came in to sort of convince this unicorn here to team up with them, if that wasn't the pie knight's design the whole time, maybe these two are still connected here. They're still teamed up. It was a hostile takeover. They know that somebody tried to switch places with them. This unicorn, I mean, I have to say, this is how it's coming across. They feel like they overstepped the boundaries. They overstepped the boundaries. It's like a way to put this person in their place, almost like by building them up to take them down. Ooh, this is sinister here. This is juicy. This is juicy. All right. Somebody's really effed here though, because it's sort of like the words coming back to haunt them. The actions they took that maybe they, sat around kind of gloating about with people they thought were teamed up with them are being turned against them. There's record of this. There's receipts of this. Ooh, it's very unexpected. This was like a major plot twist where somebody had been put in a compromising position. They're on the rise, but it's sort of like making a person believe that they've gained an advantage or a position of power because there's sort of this plot that's been hatched to let them believe they're in that position of strength, because it's almost like that will make the fall sting that much more. Somebody might start to sense this, wait a minute, because it's something they're seeing. They could be coming across something that's alerting them that maybe they don't have like this alliance going on, that maybe somebody went rogue in this dynamic. I hope you're following along with this, because there's a lot of movable parts here. And I feel like that's the nature of this situation. How much can you really trust any of these characters? I feel like they always change their position. They change the position that suits them most. There's something about a jockeying for position, a jockeying for power, to be the one who masters the pie. I don't know, maybe there's like some end goal here. They all got their eyes on the same prize. Like they all have this objective to seize that or conquer that, you know? And there's like these compromising arrangements that are made within this group dynamic. Like, okay, well, I'll help you do this if you help me do that. And yeah, forget what they said. Let's turn against them. But they're all working each other. Maybe they're all effing up. I don't know. We're going to look into this a little bit more deeply, but this is interesting. Interesting way to open the year, but it doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me. Not with Mercury and Sagittarius square Saturn and Pisces. I mean, this is really when we're going to start to realize the ruts we got ourselves in. Moving in circles and situations where, you know, there's a lot of karmic implications and stuff that has to be balanced out inevitably. I mean, inevitably there has to be the transformation. Something has to be devoured, okay? So that's the way it looks to me. Somebody's being cast into the belly of the beast. They're feeling the heat. They're starting to sense. They're effing effed here, man. And everything that they sort of put out there is coming back their way. It's coming home to roost. Because I'm noticing here with this skeleton eating a banana. Doesn't he look like he's kind of like laughing? It's almost like a setup energy. Yeah, I can kind of see it like that too, you know? Like the wingman is like, don't worry, Pie Knight. I got your back. I'll take care of this one over here. You go get that pie. No, it's not the early bird that gets the worm. It's the squirrel that gets the worm, motherfucker. You gotta have nuts. You know, you gotta have nuts to get the worm, okay? Like, there's something here that they're trying to achieve. It's a little daring. There's some conquest energy here. The coffin full of tacos, full of snakes. Oh, it quickens with that full moon coming in Cancer on the 3rd. It's all coming out of the crypt. Something is in a state of transformation, but you see there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of connecting points here between intimate partners. Also stuff that was done hidden, stuff that was done concealed, stuff that was done in the dark. You know, these are creatures of the night. These are people who like to come out at night to engage in their revelry. These are people who don't want these things to be revealed. They like to move concealed, but there's something that is being exposed here. I think it's really being exposed with the full moon. Ooh. Yep, the mask is coming off here for sure. And it's a compromising situation. You can't hide that elephant anymore. And yeah, we all remember what happened back there. So see, there's an Ace of Cups here that's being spilled. There's an offer being spilled. It's somebody who used to feel like they were really like moving very stealth, like they had it down packed. They were like the master manipulator. They were going to pull this crazy caper off. They're starting to feel quite small inside. Like there's something that's making them feel like, ooh, I wish I could just hide. I wish I could just hide. There's some exposure here that makes somebody want to hide. Usually they're able to like provide the answers, or they're able to provide sort of directive about the way to get through a situation. They're normally the person, the go-to person that everybody goes to and says like, okay, what now, boss, you know? But they're like, I don't have an effing clue, man. I don't have an effing clue because I've been taken by surprise here by the decision maker. It's got that big kind of like swords energy. Only you're using scissors. Let's make sure it really works this time. This could have been somebody also. It's reminding me of the Two of Swords. So somebody may have like blocked off some energy. Blocked off some energy. They cut through the complication. They release this ball of confusion. They use their brains. They might have been playing stupid. This person's a lot smarter than they sort of give off with initial impressions here. Cut something off, cut it off cold. Chose head over heart in this situation. They recognized it would be weak to get in this place where the heart is so burning with passion that it becomes reckless, destructive. This is somebody who knows how to go icy. They know how to cut off that sense of passion when they need to, because they recognize the way it can cloud clarity. Okay, somebody made a decisive choice here. They made a cut. I think that's what's throwing somebody for the loop. You know, they used to think they had this all figured out, and now they feel like they don't. I mean, the provider in reverse is falling under the pine knife there, and now it's an infinite cosmic mess, because while everybody had these plans of how they were going to get to that objective, you know, it's almost like, it feels like three people working at odds with each other, but all connected with each other. But they each have their own stake in this, right? They each have their own stake in this that they're very invested in. And they like to play with people's desire to like be the top dog. They like to work through that channel, like, let me build you up to tear you down. This is the way they do this manipulation, but not recognizing like they all have the same objective. They all had their heart set on the same thing. And now they're realizing that through all the ways that they were manipulating each other, now they're like colliding together at this meetup point, what they thought would be a date with destiny, and it's an infinite cosmic mess, okay? So this is a high state of mutability here. And on the bottom of the deck, we have urinal death, okay? So some kind of plot, master plan is foiled here. And the one who is leading the charge here is now like, I have no effing clue. I have no effing clue. This is kind of interesting though, but we have the feral nerd here. And the feral nerd is like, okay, I don't have a clue. And that turns me on. Because normally I have everything figured out. But for me to be in a position where I'm not quite sure what's going on, yeah, I'm banged up. But I'm determined. I'm ready to face my fears. Feral nerd's about to dive down into a rabbit hole. That's what I see here. Let me do a cut of the deck on this. See what we got. Whew. Yeah, bottom feeder energy. There's some people that are actually, you know, they try to move real concealed. They talk real tough. They act big and bold, but they're hanging out in the deep end concealed right now because they know there's shots being fired, and they don't want that smoking gun pointed at them. They recognize that they've stirred something up here. Big sexy Satan is on the scene. I'm going to make sure that things get set right, whatever's going on here, okay? So it's very interesting. I think that the feral nerd here is ready to go down into the underworld, confront big sexy Satan head on. Big sexy Satan head on. Interesting. Big sexy Satan may be a woman in this case. I don't know why I'm picking up she-devil energy around that. Okay, let's check this out. Maybe that's what's turning on. Maybe that's what's turning on the feral nerd. They're like, wow, somebody's even more calculating than I am. Jack of Diamonds in the shadow, basis of the matter. Somebody's wanting to slow this down. They feel like something's amplifying here. The pace is picking up. Wait, I need a little more time. I needed more time to plan my counter strike here, or else I'm going to miss out. Somebody's trying to figure out what they can do to slow something down. I feel like it's this feral nerd. This feral nerd is very smart, you know, and they are kind of turned on because somebody may have thrown them for a loop. They thought they had somebody figured out, and now they're kind of like, wait a minute, what's this? Ooh, intriguing. Show me more. I don't know if any of these characters can be trusted, you know? I really don't. It looks like there's a lot of motivation here for gratification, the satiation of carnal delights, revenge, getting the upper hand, you know, being the mastermind. And then there's somebody here that just like cut off everything. They put head over heart, and they cut through some kind of confusion, some kind of illusion. I think that's what's caused everybody to sort of stop here for a minute and go, wait, what? What was that? That wasn't anticipated. Okay. I want to get some details here. I want to get some details about these characters, okay? I want to know, first of all, about this Pie Knight. This Pie Knight is coming in with this sort of mastermind energy. This wizard knows how to work it. They're really good with their words. They're very crafty at hatching plots. They're usually the one that provides all the directive, but now they're kind of in a place where they don't really know what's coming next. But instead of that like freaking them out, it sort of like lights their fire. It kind of turns them on. They feel like whoever turned the tables on them, they see this person as like big sexy Satan. And they're like, all right, I'm going to meet you in the underworld because I don't know. We could be a dynamic duo. Maybe that's how they're thinking of it. And I don't know about that, you know. Whoever they're dealing with here, they do really use their intellect. They know when to sort of put matters of the heart aside and to just be really decisive with something. Some people may see them as being rather cold and steely at points, and maybe that really threw them for a loop, okay? So I want to know what is up with this Pie Knight. Give me some details. We're using the shadow light cartomancy here. Tell me about this stout wizard, this wizard who has Mercury on their side. Okay, with Mercury on their side, they could be a Virgo, they could be a Gemini, or they could be a Sagittarius, because currently Mercury is in Sagittarius. All right, so let's see, what is this coming in here? They don't have to be, but there is something about this wizard here, this Pie Knight, that exhibits those qualities. Okay, so the Gemini energy. If this person can be of two minds, maybe they're really difficult to figure out, and they're very convincing with their communication. They're very in touch with both of their sides, I feel, and they work those sides to their advantage. So this person can be a bit of a mental enigma to other people. It can be difficult to know where you stand with them, but they're also charming, okay? Very charming. They know how to work a room. They know how to work social circles. I got a lot of like sentience around that. With the Virgo and energy, they're very intellectual. They study situations. They can go into a very logical place. They're also a bit perfectionistic. They do have very high standards. They're meticulous about things, very detail oriented. This is a person who they like to have a real steady focus, discipline, a steady routine, you know. This person's on top of their stuff. With the Sagittarian energy, they're daring, they're optimistic, they got charisma. They will boldly go where no one else has gone before, and they don't care if they get thrown for a loop. That to them is just a challenge. They'll get up and they'll rise again. They got a little bit of that comeback kid kind of energy to them, and they want to take up more territory. This is somebody who wants to secure the field. They don't want just a slice of the pie. They want the whole pie. But something they thought they had in the bag, something they thought they had secured with that like ball of confusion, that knot that had been put in place, this labyrinth of spellcraft, something has been completely like cut off. And there's some kind of energy that's whipping back around, going back to its source, that's making other people getting kind of like heated here, you know. They're starting to fire shots at each other. There's erosion within the group. The factions are falling apart. There's new people teaming up with each other that used to be at odds against each other. It's a proper campaign, I have to say. All right. Ooh, okay. Theory of 11 for this Pie Knight here. They know where there's alignment for them. They do have some luck on their side to get the theory of 11. They know what they're after. They do. They know what they're after here. And they do have an open road with the 2 of clubs. Could it be they designed this whole plot in the first place to get these other characters caught up so they would be distracted by this conflict so they could come into alignment with where they want to go, because they recognized that there was blockage there. Blockage that was being created by these people they're kind of connected to that could interfere with them meeting their objective and getting that pie they have their sights set on. Yeah, they use the blind spot of these people against them. And I mean, to these characters, this Pie Knight here, this wizard could be a hidden enemy because they've been invested in what their heart wanted the whole time. And now they recognize in order to get what they want, they have to bring an end to these characters here. Discover, learn, and play. They're about to find out. Wow. Ooh, interesting. There is something going down. It might be going down on social media here. This may be what people are seeing. They might be seeing like some kind of status update, some kind of announcement. They might be doing a little super sleuthing online. They're finding what they were searching for. They're not liking what they're seeing. Okay. So, I mean, I sort of feel like fair game is what I'm hearing in relation to this Pie Knight. Like, fair game. It's all fair. You know, you all were using these kind of methods, you know, back there. So why is it not fair for me to kind of like play that same hand? You're just burned because I was able to dupe you. This kind of energy. All right. Huh. So this person here that's like, I'm so effing effed. It looks like there's 2 that feel that way because there's like double confirmation on that. I feel like one of these characters is this, the tall, lean one here. I feel like this tall, lean one, they have a real sense of humor on them, you know? This person's always like cracking jokes. Everything's funny to them, even when it is effing effed. You know, they find a way to laugh through this situation. And this one's an interesting character here because I feel like they played both sides of the fence. They played both ends to the middle. You know? So, I don't know. They look a little bit happy about what's going down here, especially in relation to this chick here. They think they got her right where they want her, man. And they're finding it, like, humorous. But I don't know. They don't got their eye on the Pie Knight right now. I feel like normally these 2 are like a duo, you know? They team up with each other. They may have done that forever. They could be like, you know, Batman and Robin. I got like that kind of energy around it. Look, give me some information about this wingman here, this energy. The one that's normally teamed up with this Pie Knight. What's going on here? Four of Hearts. I think they're also seeing this news, this announcement. They're catching wind of something. It may even be catching them at a point where it's like they just got through kind of like having a moment of like a good chuckle, like, you know, feeling like they were really working a situation. And I feel like they're kind of like maybe talking to this chick here and they're like, yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. There's like some sense of, wait a minute. That's not how that was supposed to go. Feeling a little bit of a sense of deflation, disappointed. Maybe they're trying to figure something out. Well, why don't we just take all of those messages we have, you know, all of those receipts we have, and why don't we pull it all out of the crypt? Because if we're effing F, we're going to make sure this Pie Knight's F too. That's what I feel. Like, oh no, you're not going to let us take the fall. If we're going down, you're going down too. They might be communicating about this. Maybe even saying, oh, they thought they were going to leave us with nothing. They thought they were going to, you know, get us slipping here. They thought that they were going to pull some funny business with us. What do you think we should do? I don't know. I'm seeing like this chick here. She's kind of like, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if it's worth it. Tell me more about this wingman here. It's sort of having a wait a minute moment, realizing maybe they don't have all the details of this plan. They're in the dark. Yeah, this threw them for a loop, or it will. I mean, we are looking at, you know, things that will start to kind of filter in over the next 72 hours, but certainly this is an energy that will continue to build through the opening of the year. Yeah, comes in with 14. They were not prepared for this. They had no idea that this wizard here, this Pie Knight, was going to pull this fast one. They changed something up on them. That wasn't the plan. And now they realize that while they thought they were teaming up with this character to work the others, they're actually in the same boat as the one they were working here. 14 energy, temperance energy. It's weird though, because I have to say, this Pie Knight here, they got all this light energy on their side. They do. They got alignment. They got the theory of 11 here. They got an open road. They got their Ace of Hearts in the light. Their 10 of Hearts in the light. I mean, there is some kind of real powerful alignment here that it does give indication that they gambled, and this is what they were planning on being the end result, and it's paying off. And it's sort of like they're teaching the other players in this situation. Maybe, you know, it was a setup all along. They made these people believe like, yeah, I'm on your side. Yeah, let's take this person down. Yeah, let's do this. But really, it was sort of like to expose these others. Maybe there's a certain reason why they had to do it that way. Maybe otherwise, certain deals done in the dark, certain betrayals, certain intrigues wouldn't be exposed otherwise. Like maybe there's something about it that needs to go down like that. Interesting. Whatever this is, though, with this Pie Knight, I feel like they're really intrigued by the curveball. It's like, ooh, I want to discover a new game here. This game's boring. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to head in this direction. Okay, let me see what's going on with this chick who's realizing I am so effing effed. What's going on with this chick? Give me some details here. With that temperance energy, I think we're definitely seeing the effects of Mercury in Sagittarius square Saturn in Pisces here, okay? There's definitely something coming home to roost here. What's going on with this chick who's seeing this update or seen this announcement. Whew. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Got the 8 of diamonds in the light. The 9 of spades in reverse in the light. That comes to 17, both in the light. They realized that where they were trying to work a situation to create some kind of anxiety, maybe try to get in somebody's head, make them feel insecure, make them feel troubled, maybe to in some way thwart them through affecting their confidence or affecting their rise in some way. Whatever they tried to do here, it didn't land. It's not effective. Maybe they're seeing this. They're seeing that the person that they were kind of teaming up against, this person is not insecure. This person is not feeling like held back, or, you know, they're seeing something that's letting them know that whatever manipulation they were trying to do here, it's not affected. It's not affected. This is what's causing the worry for them. Look at that. 18 coming in with the moon energy. Yeah, they weren't prepared for that. Ace of clubs in reverse. This is whipping back around. Conflict energy in reverse. Competition energy in reverse. This is somebody recognizing, I'm not in the position of power I thought I was. Queen of spades in reverse. Cold. Cold as ice around this. Because now they're realizing they're caught up. And somebody was able to find balance in an impossible situation. 8 and 2, 10, Wheel of Fortune is turning in someone else's favor. So this is, and this person is looking directly at this pie knight. This could be somebody's ex. This could be somebody who's now been kind of cast out, you know, cast aside. Now they're out of the loop where they used to have an in. This could be somebody who has been very sharp with their words. And now it's like those words are turning against them. Okay, interesting. What do we got here? This stayed behind. Ooh. 6 of hearts in the shadow. This is somebody from the past. This is somebody who, it's sort of like got the energy of a soulmate, but a soulmate that was there to really do a lot of integration of the shadow. You get those soulmates too. Okay. It's definitely somebody with a past association. Yeah, and they played a game, a dirty pool, and they got the losing hand here. That's what I see. Everything went south here with the 9 of diamonds in the shadow. They didn't learn the lesson. They didn't grow. They were supposed to transcend this situation. They didn't. 16, it's a tower. It burns, okay? And with this, I see where there's movement forward. We got a Queen of clubs to a Jack of clubs coming up in the light, okay? So there's something that's moving toward this Queen of clubs, okay? Somebody who's in a very independent energy. This is somebody who's an independent agent. Queen of clubs in the light, very much an independent energy. Somebody who's feeling good, looking good. I do feel like that was the desire, right? It was something to dim this person's shine, take this person out of a place of feeling empowered, feeling confident. Like that was what the end result was supposed to be, but that's not what occurred here. This person is shining brighter than ever because it's kind of coming through with that star energy. This person has stayed the course. They've had like some kind of sense of longevity here. And there's a lot of options coming in for this person. There's definitely like a chariot moving this person forward. There's balance coming in here too. 14. We've had 14 show up a couple times here. Strong Sagittarian energy. Okay. So there's something that's working in a Sagittarian's favor here, but it means loss for somebody else who thought at one point they had the upper hand. It may even cost them. May even cost them financially for some reason. Interesting. Okay. Give me more details about this. Where they wanted to create separation, instead, everything's coming in for this person. It's been held back for a long time. See it. 6 energy coming in here too. Venusian energy. All's fair in love and war. There could be a Libra connection here. There could be a Taurus connection here with Venusian energy. There could be a Virgo here with the 6th house. There could be a Gemini here. Gemini coming out pretty strong with the double 3s. There's something about communication here. Words that were spoken to create blockage actually became the very fuel for this fire. It's almost like it roused curiosity. That's what I feel like. Somebody was doing a lot of trash talking about this Queen of Clubs here. And where they thought that might have dissuaded somebody from approaching this Queen of Clubs, it had the opposite effect, because everybody was like, wait a minute, what's this smoke about? Where there's smoke, there's fire, right? So it's like, let me see what's going on here. Let me see what's going on here. So it's sort of like something's backfiring here. I feel like somebody is deciding, no, I want to go straight. I want to get straight from the horse's mouth. There could be a Sagittarius connected to this. It was 56:33 on the clock when I brought that in. 11, 6 energy. Justice, Libra energy. Lovers, the choice. There's some kind of choice here too. Needing to move out of the crossroads. Needing to move out of a place of indecision. Gemini energy here too. Something about communication. Absolutely. And look, there's the 7s again. 7, 7, 7. Jackpot. This is going to give somebody the upper hand here. It is opening up this communication is going to give this person the upper hand where they didn't have any before. They didn't have any ground to stand on before because they didn't have really a full scope of what was going on in a situation. They were relying on this person's word, this person that's now in the belly of the beast here, realizing they're screwed. Their words are being turned against them. It's the end of it for them. 777, 21. This cycle is coming to completion. There could be a fixed sign energy connected to this. Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius. Some kind of confusion, some kind of illusion is seen through. Somebody's starting to understand where they really should invest their energy, their time, and also where they should join forces because there's more might. It's sort of like teaming up with the right person to bring a closure to a big mess and a bunch of nonsense. And there's success in that. Like there's a victory in that. But it's weird, you know, the way it's coming through, because I do feel like where there's some alignment coming in here, there's been a lot to question because of this whole scenario here. It is sort of like jumping on the other side of the fence because realizing it's getting too hot in here. All right, we didn't look into the decision maker energy. I want to get sort of a view of that. Who was this decision maker that is now being approached by this Pie Knight, this one who cut off the confusion? Let's see what's going on with them. Ooh, Queen of Clubs in the shadow. Look at that. Went from the shadow to the light. Isn't that interesting? So this is somebody who is very balanced in their shadow and light. This is also somebody who acts a lot out of their masculine. They deal with things in a very practical way. They know when they need to pull from their shadow. They know when they need to pull from their light. Okay. This is something that this person keeps undercover. I think it's something maybe that causes them to be underestimated. We also have this King of Diamonds here. So this person could be very focused on their business too. Maybe because they dealt with a lot of disappointment in matters of the heart. Because of outside involvement. This kind of complication, right? This person stands alone because they've been betrayed. I see that, right? I think this person at one point was fuming, right? They may still have a lot of anger there. They might be watching this scenario unfold here. Comes in with double fives, 10 again, okay? Wheel of Fortune energy, Sagittarian energy. There's strong Sagittarius energy here. And the Sagittarian energy is coming up in the light. Like there's some kind of disappointment. There's some kind of betrayal that's turning around here. And somebody who used to be put in a position where they might have just gotten to a place where they got so enraged and fed up with the situation that they had to just completely cut something off. And maybe even put forward a different outer appearance in order to sort of gain the upper hand. Because we see it, it comes in with that temperance energy. They recognize there was something that needed to be balanced out here, transformed here. Coming in with the temperance energy, with the Queen of Clubs, this is certainly somebody who knows how to work their magic. They work both shadow and light. They play for both teams, but they're able to hold it in balance. That's what I see. This person doesn't go to one extreme or another. They know when to cut something off. They know where the line is, where it goes to a place where it starts to become distorted or unjustified, okay? So this person holds shadow and light in equilibrium here. And there's something here with the Ace of Diamonds in the shadow. They've had this plan for a while. They've had this plan for a while, how they were going to retrieve some opportunities, some treasures, something that was supposed to be for them. They've had this plan for a while. It is coming in with that Spades energy. King of Spades, okay? Had to take a real calculated action, had to think something through, had to cut something off. So we got a pair here because that decision maker came in with that sort of swords energy too. So feminine to masculine, using head over heart to play the long game, gain the upper hand in a confusing situation. To best a joker, where there'd been something funny that went on with some money. It looks like it's something material here that's at the root of this conflict. Absolutely. We got a lot of fives coming out here too. So something's really in a state of flux here. There could have been something that was stolen. There could have been some kind of theft. There could be something really underhanded that happened here. And this is what the crossroads is about, because it's sort of like, well, deals done in the dark eventually come to light. And somebody may have even infiltrated this circle specifically to set these people up to get an in, make it out like they were working with these people to take this Queen of Clubs in the light down. But really, they were always a team all along. This mastermind was always teamed up with this character all along. And that's what was concealed. That's what was hidden. They were getting the information they needed so they could take down this plan of theirs. It looks like to steal something, to gain control of some assets, to tear down somebody's foundation, something like this. This is the source of the conflict. And somebody infiltrate, that's what I feel it is. Somebody infiltrated. I mean, it could be this character here. There's like a real interesting dynamic here. There's still some questions. I think this is a situation in flux. Will these characters change position again? It's highly likely. That's sort of what I'm picking up here. That's what I'm picking up here. Okay, interesting. Any further details on this? Any further details on this? And then I think I'm going to get one round of the angels and imps just to get a little directive coming from both sides of the fence here to give us some more clues. And we'll go ahead and get some numbers of significance, and we'll get some of that ERISIAN spirit board action out here. This is interesting. So we got a Jack of Clubs, okay, in the shadow, coming up in the crossing position, landed right over this meeting here of these two in the light. So that makes me feel like there's going to be this moment of agreement between these two. I almost feel like somebody's coming back after intel, after sort of penetrating the cover of this group that's been doing something shady in the dark. They're coming toward this Queen of Clubs to report what they found, and then together they're hatching like a hostile takeover, a hostile takedown. Yep. Yep. That's what that is. That's what that is. They're bringing the heat with the Ace of Clubs in the shadow here. Jack of Spades in the shadow. Oof. This is intense energy here. And they're playing the long game. That's what I see. They're playing the long game. We got pretty much all the energies out here on the board. Okay? All the energies out on the board. There's a lot of water sort of coloring this landscape here. The water is coming through as sort of like almost like a glamour sort of influence, which is not surprising just with the Neptunian action we got going on right now and all that buildup of the momentum of that swell of the grand water trine. But that's the way it's kind of coming through in a very sort of like glamour, mutable, changeable, sort of murky climate here. We got a lot of air and fire coming through in a very dualistic way, you know, able to play it hot, able to go cold, you know, knowing how to play both of those sides, you know, it's very interesting energy. And then the earth energy is coming through is very subtle, right? But like really playing the long games. Whew. Whew. Dicey, man. All right, I'm going to do a cut of the deck here. We got Joker. There's absolutely something going on here, though, where there's something that happened, and this is the end of it. It's coming to an end for this Joker. Whoever, you know, hatched this plot to try to steal somebody's money or try to gain control of somebody's assets or to try to rock somebody's stability or foundation, this person is absolutely getting caught up, okay? Their cover is blown. That's for sure. With that, we got a King of Clubs in the shadow. You see what I mean? Really changeable kind of energy. But there's so much that came up in the light here. I feel like this is almost like, I want to get a clarification on this. But to me, it almost feels like sometimes it's justified. You know what I mean? Sometimes it is justified to take a real strong action. It's like burning because something has been so unjust. It's like, oh yeah, I'm bringing the heat your way for this. I'm playing the long game. I'm bringing the heat your way for this. That's kind of what it feels like, okay? Let me pull out the angels and imps on this. Let's not go further down this rabbit hole here. This is what I want to know about this action with the Queen of Clubs and the King of Clubs. It looks like they're currently, once they have this meeting of minds, communication, it looks like there's like a sense of solidarity there, like, let's get them. That's what I feel, but I don't know if it's really justified or not. Let's find out, because there's a lot of slippery, changeable energy here. I'm going to pull out this Angels and Imps deck for this, because there is some indication too of some wizardry at play here. There's definitely some people who know how to work a situation, also know how to manipulate, know how to cast some glamour on a situation. Bottom of the deck, we got the Queen of Cups here. This is a person who's been in a position, this Queen of Cups, where she's just following orders. She fulfills requests. She knows how to spin her words. She knows how to dress something up, so it sounds real good, you know. This is also somebody who's a little bit prideful too. Showboating. They may have been showboating a bit at one point as well, coming in with that like peacock energy. Also, I feel like there's all those eyes on the peacock feathers too. There's something here this Queen of Cups wants to protect. Okay, let's get some details here. That's like the basis of the matter. Tell me what's going on with the Queen of Clubs and the King of Clubs that are sort of teaming up here, it looks like, after a meeting of minds, and they're looking to really bring some heat somebody's way. Is it justified? Is it justified? Give some clarity about this, please, Spirit. Bottom of the deck. Ace of Swords. I mean, it looks like it is justified. Because something needs to be righted. Somebody was like, it's pretty heavy, but I have to bring it through the way it's coming through. It's like somebody was virtually left for dead here. This is what they wanted to do to this individual. Whoever they were targeting here, they wanted to pull this person down and then kick them when they were down to the extent where this person wouldn't even have the strength to rise. And that is the truth. So there's something here where these two have a true sense of affinity with each other. There's a true connection there. There's camaraderie there. There's true friendship there. They're armed with the truth. And because of that connection, this one went into the lion's den, so to speak, to get the truth they needed to team up with this person and let them know what happened. This is what happened. This is what they did to you, and this is what you need. Here's all the information. Here's all the receipts. And I'm going to help you turn these tables. That's what I feel this is. I mean, it's coming in with an Ace of Swords, so it's the truth. It's the truth. The truth of the situation justifies such a strong action. It also justifies this sort of like, it's coming through as like righteous anger, okay? Give me more details about this. Give me more details about this plan between the King of Clubs and Queen of Clubs here to use some force to rectify a situation. Is it the proper measure? Are they acting in harmony with their will's design? You know, is this truly in harmony? Is it the proper measure in this situation? That's what I want to get clarification about here. Crossing energy. 5 of Wands, crossing energy. And it's interesting because it's in reverse. So yeah, I mean, it does look like they're bringing an end to a conflict through teaming up forces. It is coming in with Spear of Lu energy. So it's almost like that, the truth merging with the fire, the will to act, right? What they're doing is they're totally like breaking up the factions in a situation. They're getting beyond the politics of a situation. They're calling out these ambitions that were really pretty. It's coming through as creepy, man. Like, these people are creepy. These people are, I don't know any other way to say it. These people are sick. To want to destroy somebody like this is sick. That's a sickness. So it says here that these two, you know, judgment in their favor. They win judgments, and it's protecting them because they sought the truth in a situation. And because they sought the truth, they're acting on truth. The action is merited, you know. The action is merited. There's obviously anger about this, discovering the truth, but the action is justified because of this. And it actually totally just unravels this conflict. It breaks up these factions. It gets the politics out of the way. It gets to just the facts. And it interrupts the ambitions of these people who are really doing something horrible. This is horrible. It is. I mean, this is certainly something backfiring, something coming home to roost here. Yeah, it is being cleansed away. 8 of Cups. It is being cleansed away here once and for all for good. And it's bringing about transformation. And where there's been adversity, there's some kind of consolation coming through for this person who was a target of whatever this was, man. It looks like a bunch of bitter people. It looks like a bunch of inflamed egos. It looks like something really disgusting and awful was done because of people being butthurt. That's how it's coming through. It's so petty and trite. And whatever this was it was evil. It was evil. And this is being cleared away once and for all. So, I mean, that to me looks really good. That to me looks really good. I don't care about what's going on with these people who are now like in a position of being in that hot seat, having the shoe on the other foot. They'll sort it out. I just really wanted to know if these two teaming together in this action they were planning on taking, if it was justified, because it looks like it's a strong action. It's something very strong to counterbalance this. Any details for the collective that they need to be aware of in regard to this situation as this develops? We got like some shadowy stuff coming out here. Anything they need to know? Okay, we got one crossing energy and we got one covering energy here. Once again, bottom of the deck, Ace of Swords. Okay? The truth will come up and out. Crossing energy, 8 of Pentacles. Yep. The truth is coming up and out about the way somebody worked a situation. Also, it has something to do with legal tender. So where there's been some kind of theft, shady stuff happening with somebody's assets, somebody's money, like this is being outed. There's receipts, there's a trail. And where somebody was sort of seen as a fool, like somebody's, oh, they'll never figure it out. Like they're really easy to take advantage of. This person's an idiot. This person's not smart. This says makes fools wise. It's like somebody was underestimated and this whole group is seeing this person in a new light because they're realizing the person they thought they were working actually has known the score all along. So something is being alchemized here. And where there was theft or there was something stolen here, it is being returned. It also could be something that affected somebody's work. There could have been alchemy work. You know, there could have been spiritual work done to create blockages around somebody's work or assets as well. All of that is being reversed. Look at that. 10 of Swords. Yes, because the message is coming through. And once the message comes through, then it's time to bring an end to the situation with the 10 of Swords. And I see that's what's happening here. Builds houses and high towers. You see what I mean? Builds houses and high towers. First, let's build you up. That's how this character that is teaming up and alerting this Queen of Clubs about what's gone on, that's how they infiltrated here. They're like coming through as a messenger. This person also works magic, okay? They know how to work their magic. They infiltrated this situation to get the information they needed, to get the truth they needed. See, they got Froggerrock there. They have pulled the sword from its sheath. So they're ready to get the answers they need. The answers come through the messages that they're relaying to who was targeted here. And the way they worked against these people is they built them up. They built them up. They built them up. They let them get really, really secure. That, yeah, we're all teaming up against this target here. Not knowing this person was actually infiltrating to take this group down. They built up high towers for them. They let them feel like really sure of themselves, sure of their position. They lifted them up. Why? To take them down. This is going to destroy the enemy's thoughts, their desires, and all they have built is going to come crashing down. And this person is a good familiar. They may work with means that people question, because to them it looks like that ain't right. You know, you worked me. But it's like, well, who's working who? Who's really working who here? I see that somebody knows how to play the edge. They know how to move into the shadow enough when it's justified to take down something that's corrupt. And that's what's happening here. This corrupt group is being taken down. And it's justified. It's based on the truth. The action is supported by spirit here. So that's pretty powerful. All right, let's see. Cut of the deck here. They might even team up their magic together because it looks like these two are alchemists and they might be doing something together to turn this situation around. Okay, cut of the deck. No lies detected. This tower is coming. It's the end of this, man. It's the end of this promoter of discord, war, and arguments that were based on falsehoods. And this person is going to give some generous responses in relation to their actions. They're going to have a lot of reasons why they did what they did. But in the end, it all comes crashing down. So this is good. This is coming to a close. And it is a checkmate moment. I want to say Chuckmate. I don't know. Somebody could be named Chuck. Somebody could be named Chuck in this scenario. Just bringing it in. But it may be a checkmate moment here, but it's justified. It's a strategy, and it is justified because this action is based on the knowledge of good and evil, and it appeases divine anger, right? So it's almost like even the gods are PO'd about this. They're like, do what you need to do, man, to set this right. That's what I see. That's what I see. And it's the proper measure to bring about the cure in this situation. And it does have the support of divinity. It says God nurturing and maintaining everything. And that's the thing people always forget about spirit. That's the thing people always forget about nature. It's shadow and light. It's both cruel and kind. And in this case, It's justified. It's justified. So this corrupt group that targeted somebody here, they're being brought down because somebody knew when it was time to work a little bit of that shadow edge, go a little bit left to turn something right. That's what I got. Let's get some numbers of significance here. Coming in. We pretty much had all signs come out here. All the elements are involved. We know we can all embody these signs at any given time. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, somebody is moving forward. It comes in with the number 7 again here. Look at this, man. 777, jackpot energy. Where something was stolen, where something was lost, what was taken is coming back multiplied. Coming back multiplied. And what's getting caught up? The karmic cycle is getting caught up here, coming in with the energy of 12, okay? So no more blind spots, something's seen. And once something's seen, there's no more being caught up. There could have been somebody who was really held back here. They've been held up at the crossroads because of what's been going on. But see, it's like the energy transforms and it moves forward suddenly. The chariot comes in, moves this energy forward. Right? It's also, look, it kind of looks like this like 1111 energy too. Got 6s here. Life path 6 could be factoring into this situation. Life path 3, life path 4, life path 7. Seven and 12. 19. 10, life path 1. 10, wheel of fortune. So something's being transformed. Also that 7 energy, it's reminding me of the blessings of Jupiter's retro motion in Cancer. So something retroactive coming in. It's been held back for a long time. Held back for a long time. It's like bringing a rebirth energy where something was really in alignment, was stalled out. There could even be like a love story in this picture here, like 2 people that are supposed to be aligned. There's something that's karmically being balanced out. Something's being rectified here. But it's interesting. It's like a little bit of a play of shadow and light. Right. Cancerian energy, Gemini energy here. It's communication about how like stability was rocked and what needs to be done to retrieve these blessings, bring about balance. But with that sort of Venusian energy coming through with the 6s, it's like, it's one of those things, all's fair in love and war. That's what I really feel. Months of significance where this will really come to a head. I see March, April, and June will be really important months in the development of this storyline. Could be like critical points where there's new chapters open, where there's plot twists. Also, there's something that's going down right now that's going to kind of bleed into the opening of the new year. I think that there's some kind of important development in regard to this situation that comes in on the 3rd with that full moon in Cancer, and the 4th, the day after the full moon. It's like something really gets lit up there, something seen. So that's where the big bang is in the opening of 2026 in January there. Also, Pisces could be connected to this situation. Aries could be connected to this situation. Taurus could be connected to this situation. Gemini, Cancer, Leo. Okay, these are kind of some energies coming through here that could have connecting points to this situation. Also, those houses could be affected as well. Obviously, like dealing with a blind spot situation, dealing with stability, foundation of matters, dealing with, you know, somebody being kind of like targeted in a group. This group being like disbanded. There's some love vibes there, certainly. Work could have been affected. You know, I'm seeing that house of Virgo too, okay? Work, daily routine. Somebody was targeting a particular individual. It was like clockwork. It's creepy. It's creepy. It's like they were on a routine with this. It is creepy. I think it's good that this energy is getting caught up, okay? Whatever this is, it ain't right. It ain't right, but it's being set right, okay? Let's go ahead and get some names, places, details, messages of significance here. If your name comes out, it doesn't imply that you're one of these dastardly characters, okay? But it's maybe alerting you to pay attention, okay? Keep your eyes open, or pay attention to the other messages that come in close to your name being mentioned, or a name of somebody you know, okay? That could be like details there. It really just comes in to sort of like flag you like, hey, keep your eyes open here. Also gives you like points of connections, synchronicities, things to be on the lookout for. Let's do this one here. Right off the bat, I see hot. Something's coming in hot. It's getting hot in here. The heat is on, okay? I also heard, that's hot. That's hot. Somebody thinks it's hot. Like, somebody gets off on this kind of stuff, you know? It turns them on. The subterfuge, all of this turns them on. I also got thought, okay? So yeah, there's a little bit of action there too. I got the name Amy in relation to that coming in. I also got Toth here. Okay, so somebody may work with that that path, you know, that path of magic. I got Oregon connected to that. Somebody may be into Thelema here. With that, I got Gate. Okay. Gateway energy here. Okay, so a gate has been opened. Somebody opened a gateway here. It unleashed something. What did it unleash? I got him. It unleashed him. Okay, well, whoever summoned that knows exactly what that is, right? Some gateway's been opened here, and I feel like once it's been opened, I don't know, with that so F and F card, you know, and being in the belly of the beast, I don't know. Somebody may have opened up the gates of hell. Something's being unleashed here. I see that, okay? Something is coming to the surface here. Something that was done in the dark is being exposed in the light of the day. And this is causing somebody to really pitch a fit, okay? Somebody's going to be throwing a fit here. It feels almost like a temper tantrum. Whoa! And with that, I got her. Her. She's going to be throwing a fit. Okay. She's going to be throwing a fit because she didn't get her way. This is somebody who throws temper tantrums when they do not get their way. She's been holed up in her hut, you know, crafting her next plan. This could be somebody who likes to work with Baba Yaga. Or somebody may be working with Baba Yaga to turn this energy around, all right? Yeah, something's been very sus in this situation. I got usual suspects, you know, in relation to that. I don't think it's going to be like a great mystery to a lot of people. I actually feel like there's a lot of people that know what's going on here. They see what's going on here. I got the name Lily coming in relation to this. Also, lilies are a flower that's associated with endings, closures, release, okay? So something is coming to a close here. I got the name Mimi. Got HD, like something's going down in high definition, like every detail is going to be seen, and it's going to be go time soon with this. Quick, secure the fort. This is like some kind of takeover. It's a total takeover. I see TOT. It's a total takeover. Also, total makes me think of, you know, finances, accounting, the books. Like something doesn't add up. There's receipts and there's like a trail of this. And somebody is definitely on the hunt, right, for all of these missing pieces of information so they can fill in the gaps. There's like a go-to person here in the mix. Huh, interesting. This person may have like a connection to Osiris that's coming through. There's a lot coming in around like alchemy work, different spiritual traditions, okay? So I do think there's like been spiritual work in this situation for most of you. Got the name Ford. Okay, that could be somebody's last name, Ford. Somebody could drive a Ford. There might have been something that went down today too that gave you a little bit of a clue about what this is. Maybe sent your hackles up a little bit where you're like, that's unusual. Okay. It might have you sort of starting to take like a closer look at something, like something feels a little bit off. I got hail coming in here too, like a hailstorm. There's some kind of like storm coming through in this situation. There is something that feels very spiritual about what's going down, because it reminds me of, you know, almost like biblical stories where you have like the fire and the hail coming down and all of these sort of like pestilences, and, you know, there's something that is really being unleashed here. It's like gained a lot of momentum very slowly, because I feel like this is something that was done over time. But whatever this storm is, the way that it blows through, like, there's no missing it. There's no missing it. It will have somebody sending out an SOS here, like somebody's going to feel like they need a rescue. I see that. And I got hai here, like H-A-I, as in Japanese. Hai, yes. Okay, so there could be a connecting point there. Somebody could speak Japanese. Somebody could be from Japan. Somebody could say hi, you know, over yes. Just a little quirk in their communication coming through there. Whatever is going down here, though, I have to say, it's justified. The will is being used in the correct way. It packs a lot of heat, but it's got backing from TMH, the Most High. So something higher here is taking the wheel to balance this out. So coming in with a bang for the new year, okay? Yeah, you don't want to be moving left in this kind of territory, man. You really don't. I got like Mayday. Like, obviously, there's something going on here where somebody's getting caught up and something's coming home to roost. But whatever's going down here, it's got the stamp of approval from Spirit. This is something that's being balanced out, and it looks like it's more than time for this to go on. That makes somebody ill just hearing that, I think, because they know what's coming back around their way, right? That's what I got. All right. Godspeed. I trust that the collective here, you know, is on top of this. I think you just need to kind of like wait for this information to come towards you. It might require some kind of strong action on your part. It may. All right, but I feel like whatever this is, it works out in your favor, and it's something that should have happened a long time ago. I got Taos coming in again. I don't know what this is with Taos, New Mexico, but it's been coming in for a while. And with that, I got IT, and I also got AI. Okay, so there's some stuff that could have been going on funny in relation to data, in relation to online activity. In relation to hacking, you know, something like this may have been compromised here. I got dis in relation to that, okay? Dis. So yeah, somebody was maybe, that's kind of interesting. It could even be like two sort of like tech people kind of stacked up against each other. I don't know why I got that. This may be, I have yes here with that. Two people that work in the field of tech or were involved in this. And it's like they're getting dissed because they're getting bested here. And with that, I got Oz. So the wizard behind the curtain is being exposed. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. 1:42:44 on the clock. Keep your wits about you, man. Keep your nose clean. Have a good time. Don't drink and drive. And just wait. Wait for this to be made clear. Because I feel like whatever this is, either you're going to get a chance to see justice be served here, or you may be called to duty. You know, there may be something you need to actually get in the mix of here once you get some information. But whatever this is, something that was wronged is being set right, and it's high time. Godspeed.